Welcome to today's session, which is about how to create a parking lot of a retail site. In this video, we will focus on several key aspects of the planning and design process used in the planning of a retail project. We will focus on three areas: the parking lot grading, grading of the miscellaneous areas around the building and the parking area, and also we will do the parking lot subgrade. The workflow we will follow today is that we will create a drainage surface. Then we will create Kerb feature lines and link those with the drainage surface. We will then do some miscellaneous grading around the site. We will also do a slope analysis to ensure that the parking layout or the parking grading that we've done does meet the design requirements. If we have time, we will then also do the other three sections, failing which we will do them in another video. And those being the linear quantities with the QTO manager. And then we will do the parking lot subgrade surface for cut and fill. And then we'll then create volume reports. Under our challenges, we want to avoid having to manually draw contours by modeling our site. We will combine simple tools to create a dynamic surface model. This will then allow us to manage the changes and revisions during the design and construction stages of our project. We will also try to eliminate any point-by-point grading of the various points that are created as a result of the complex geometry that we may have on our site. My name is Loyiso Toi. I'm a civil engineer at Tabesa Consulting. This channel is for you, and the topics we cover come directly from questions we get on a daily basis. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. We also welcome your comments on this video. If there are other topics you would like us to cover, please get in touch by leaving a comment. With that said, let's dive in. We begin with a drawing showing a parking layout of a retail development, which we designed in our previous video. We will also provide a link to this video of how we designed this parking layout in the description of this video. We will remove this parking. We just brought it in as an XREF so that we are not okay, so we just remove that just so that we have a bit of clarity. And what we are left with now is the parking islands and also the building, where the area where the building is gonna be located. As you can see in here, we've got our finished floor level of the building at 1579.7. What we also have in our drawing here is a pond, which also we had designed previously, and also we will provide a link in the description of the video of where we had designed this pond. When we model a site like this, there is a general drainage pattern we want to use to govern how we model our site. In our case, we know our site is sloping in that direction. As you can see at this point, there is a culvert under that road. So we will drain this site towards that low point there. This pond is going to be used by these areas, these developments that are above here. Parking lot grading is best handled by using feature lines and grading objects. We are going to use two surfaces, one being a surface that represents the pavement and another one that represents the curb and some of the grading behind the curbs. What we are going to do is to try and separate the drainage of the parking lot from the detailed horizontal alignment, horizontal geometry that is going on around the site. What we have on our site is a number of polylines that we have drawn previously just to encompass the whole development area, and we just excluded those areas that tie to the existing external roads. We're then going to create a stepped-up surface that will define the drainage pattern. So what we're going to do, these polylines, we are going to turn them into feature lines. Let's come here and see feature line from objects. So we will put them onto a drainage site. Okay. We will give them a style. We'll just give them a standard style. We will use the current layer. No, we'll use this one, selected entity layer. We'll erase and then we'll assign all elevations. Okay. We will give them an elevation of, we're gonna give it 1579.35. Okay. Okay, so that is that polyline. So, okay, let me select this polyline, select all the others, and then we see, and then we okay, so we selected those okay, so these, we're bringing them to that. Okay, let's see, we're happy with all of that. Yes, we're happy. We're all bringing them to that level. So now what we have all these polylines sitting at a level of 1579.35, which is, we've now calculated it based on the fact that from this level there is a step down to the pavement level. So on these feature lines, let's see, we want to insert elevation points. Well, I want to put elevation points there. Okay. At all these points where there is an intersection, we will put these elevation points on all these areas. Okay. I think we've got one here. Yeah, we're happy with that. Okay, along that. We're now going to put labels on our feature lines so that we can see what the levels and the grades are. So if we're just going to put labels there on this feature line, so we now can see what our grades are and also what the levels are. Okay. Okay, I think we've got all of them. Okay. We now want to insert elevation points on this feature line. Okay, and then what we will do now is to create this at 1 minus 1.444%. Okay. Okay, I want to create this. Okay, so that will change our elevation at that point. We've kept this one the same. We want to create this one up by want to go up by 1%. Okay, so that changes that. Okay, let's select this. We want to again insert an elevation point on this feature line, the intersection here. We will keep that grade. Let's see. Okay, so we want to now create this one at minus 1.22. Okay, we want to create minus 1.22. Is it doing it? No, it's not. Let me just select it again. Oh, I need to see why it's not doing it. I need to insert an elevation point here. That's why it wasn't doing it. Okay, so say minus 1.22. I need to just put the grade lines in here. Sorry, the feature line labels. Let me just put them on all of them so that we can see what our levels are. Okay, so that shows our grades as well. Okay, I think that's what had happened there. Okay, let's select this feature line. I want to create that at minus 1.4. Okay, so we will continue with this process of adjusting all the grades throughout this drainage surface of ours. I will not bore you with all this tedious work, but I will pause the video and then I will do all this repetitive work, and then I will resume once we've done that. We now have assigned grades on all of our feature lines, and we have also placed elevation points at all the intersection points, as you can see. The next step now will be to take these to create a surface using these feature lines as break lines. We now create a new surface which we will call drainage. And we'll do that, and then now we will select these feature lines, And then on the drainage surface, we're going to add these feature lines as break lines. And we will call this, we give them a description of drainage break lines. And for the weeding factors, we will go 15. Distance, we'll change this maybe to 10. Okay. And then now all our break lines have been added onto the surface. So to show that, we come under the surface tile and we show our triangles for our surface. So now this is our drainage surface, which represent the surface, the finished surface here on the parking area, which again we had said was at about 1579.35, but it's also sloping in this with those various grades that we have on our break lines. Earlier on, I had drawn an outer boundary to our parking lot, which I had put in on a layer that I had frozen. So now what we're gonna do is just gonna go and thaw that layer and open it up. We will now add our boundary to our surface. So we go in here and we name that boundary outer bound, and it's gonna be the type which is outer non-destructive break line, and we will use a mid-ordinate distance of 0.5 meters, and then we come and we select our break line. As you can see now, the surface has been trimmed back to inside our boundary, and as you can see, this let me come and show it here along this curve. That mid-ordinance distance of half a meter is a distance between the middle of that arc, of that chord, and the arc there. That would be the half a meter. Now we can, we've shown our surface. Now we can have a look at our surface in Object Viewer. And there's our surface. There's our parking surface. What we will now do is to bring in the Kerb islands, which are in this area here. Yeah, and we can now exit this. We are also able to view our surface here on Project Explorer. And you can see these are the edge slopes and all the grades that are happening on our surface, and the other vertices. So yeah, so looks like everything is working together nicely here. We now need to assign elevations to our Kerbs. So we're going to select these feature lines, and we just select all of them, and then we create feature line objects. Just saying something, but we'll see some feature lines can be created from the geometry. We'll see which ones are those, and we'll just come back to those. So we're gonna put this onto the pond and Kerb surface. We'll give it a basic feature line style. Okay, we also wanted to just weight points here. Okay, so we want to extract elevations for these islands from a surface, and the surface we're going to use will be the drainage surface. And then we take that. Okay, so we want to just change the length here of our weeding to 5 meters, and we say okay. So now what has happened now, it has changed all these polylines into feature lines. Okay, so if we select that, we now want to use mountable kerb on these islands. So we're gonna go and use a semi-mountable kerb 7. So we create the grading, select the feature line, we do it on the inside. Can say there's that. We'll come back and sort this out. Okay, so if you look now at our island, it now has created a grading here for a mountable kerb. We now want to do an infill in this area. We want to do an infill in there. Okay, we'll close that. We can resolve that later. Okay, so now we can see that we have created our island. So if I look at this in object viewer, you can see that we can see our pond as well as our island that we've just created. So if we zoom in here, we've now created our island with the mountable kerb, and we've done an infill here. So okay, what we'll do now, we will continue to do these infills for all our kerb islands. So again, I will pause the video and then do all of this work, and then I will show you what this whole thing looks like once all the kerbs have been done, the kerb islands. We now have done all the islands, and what we're going to do, I first want to switch off this surface. I want to come to the drainage surface. Want to switch off these triangles. Okay, so if we were to just view this in object viewer, you will see that we now have our islands for the parking. And let's try and zoom in here. Okay, let's zoom in here. Yes, we now can see our islands. Okay, we can exit that. I just want to switch on again that drainage layer. Switch on the triangles. Okay, so if we select this drainage layer and the kerb and pond surface, and we look at those in object viewer, again we begin to see these two surfaces together. That's looking better. Let's try and look at it on the conceptual. Okay, so here's our parking area, and our islands are now showing. Okay, what we now want to do is to perhaps look at the curbs along the building. So we'll first define those. So now we want to convert our external polylines into feature lines. So we're gonna start with this one. We're gonna start with this one. We convert that into feature line. We'll pull elevations from the drainage surface. Okay, so there's our new feature line. We now want to insert an elevation point right at the boundary. If you remember that our surface of this drainage layer was stopping at this point, but now we want to extend to tie up to the existing road. So we're gonna put an elevation point right at the intersection here, and we accept that elevation. And then what we want to do, we wanna do a quick elevation editor here and check that level at the end point. We wanna pull that elevation from the surface, and in this case we will use design tool. We will accept the 1580. Okay, now we want to grade between these 2 points. We want to create between that point and this last elevation point that we had put in here. Where was it? There. Okay. We accept that. Okay, so we want to do the same thing on the side. We want to insert an elevation point at this boundary. And we will accept that level. Then we'll do a quick elevation editor for this point. Again, we'll pull that elevation from the surface. We will accept that. Because we don't have any other vertices between this vertex and that elevation point, we'll accept that grade there. So again, we can have a look at that feature line in Object Viewer, and we now can see it. Where has it gone? Okay, let me have a look at it. Object Viewer. Okay, we have a look at it there. Okay, there's our feature line. We can see that the levels are now tying in nicely. Okay, so we will do the other one. We now want to do this feature line. Okay, we want to convert that polyline into a feature line. We'll pull elevations from the drainage surface again with all the weeding. Okay, now that we've done that, we select the feature line again and we insert an elevation point at the edge here. Okay, we accept that. And then let's do quick elevation here. For right at the end here, we will pull an elevation from the surface on a different surface. We're pulling from design 2. Okay, we accept that. Okay. As you can see, we've got one other vertex in between those 2 points, so we want to create uniformly between this point number 1 and this new elevation point. So we will create between that point and we accept that. Okay, so now let's just see, this one is done. Yes, I think this one is done. We can, let's just double check it, have a look at it. Oh, not there. Oh, there's still a problem. There's still a problem with this one. Okay, there's still a problem with this point. Oh. Okay, let's insert an elevation point right there. Hope it is this one. Okay, we do elevation editor here. Yeah, this is the one. So we'll pull our elevation from the surface. That's the level it gives us. Yeah. Okay, now if we have a look at this in Object Viewer, everything should be alright. Should all be at the same level. Pull it down. Okay. Yeah, it's all at the same level. There's our feature line. Okay, so we're happy with that. We're now gonna do, I'm just gonna pause the video whilst I do the other one, the last one. It's a similar process that we will follow, and then I will then show you once we've done that one, the continuation of the video. Now that we have our feature lines sorted out, we need to create these feature lines to create the barrier caps that we want to use in this area. So we'll select this feature line and we go to creating creation tools. We will create the barrier cap and we do the creating. Select this side, we go with full length. Okay, this we can delete. There's our barrier cap. So we also come on this one, select that side, and we do our grading. Okay, we'll sort out this. Just want to come and do this last one, which is that. We do the full length. Okay, delete that. Okay, we can get out of that. Okay, so what we now can do is to have a look at our surface in Object Viewer. Now we can begin to see that there's our parking, and it also has brought in the cabs along the roadway. So in this area, this is where the building will be situated, and the parking bays will be there. The delivery vehicles will traverse to the back of the building and out there. The vehicles, the small cars will come and park in this area. So yeah, I think we are progressing nicely. So what we're now gonna do in our next video is to fill in these areas between the cabbing and the building, and also fill up these areas between the cabbing and the external roads. Maybe let's have a look at this in conceptual, see what it looks like. So yeah, so there's our parking lot. Just wanna look at this together with these two surfaces, see how it looks again in object viewer. Yes, here's our development. If you look at it in conceptual, it's beginning to look nicely. So let's have a look at it in a realistic. So there's your design with your island cabs and your barrier cabs around the building. Okay, we'll continue then in the next video, and then we do these areas around the parking lot, and also, you know, between the cabs and our pond, just to address all these areas. And yeah, what we assist designers with, we assist designers by showing you how you can use the software on your projects. We also help you to design. We also help you to develop design workflows for increased efficiency. We help you to eliminate rework and errors in your design, and also improve coordination during the design process. In the next videos, we will cover earthworks volumes, as well as how we will fill up the areas between the cab lines and the buildings, and also the existing roadworks, as well as the ponds. We hope this video has shown you how you can model your site development projects with Civil 3D. Thank you very much.